Oliver Ellsworth and the Miranda versus Arizona case by Nikki Herrera and Chikosi Achara. I, Chikosi Achara, will be discussing the Chief Justice part of this project. So, early life. Oliver Ellsworth was born on April 29, 1745 in Windsor, Connecticut to Captain David and Jemina Ellsworth. Over the course of his life, his reputation as an able and industrial jurist grew. After starting off relatively slow, Ellsworth built up a great law practice, and in 1777, Ellsworth became Connecticut's state attorney for Hartford County. That same year, he was chosen as Connecticut's representative. Education. Ellsworth entered Yale in 1762. At the end of his second year, he transferred to the College of New Jersey. Ellsworth continued to study theology and received his A.B. degree after just 2 years at the college. Shortly following that, he turned to law and graduated in 1766. Pro-career. Ellsworth admitted to the bar in Hartford, in which he represented in the Connecticut General Assembly. He was a member of the Continental Congress from 1777 to 1783. He also became the Governor's Council of Connecticut from 1780 to 1785, and a judge on the State Superior Court from 1785 to 1789. Presidential appointment. Oliver Ellsworth was appointed by President George Washington on March 4, 1796. Interesting facts. Oliver Ellsworth was the third Chief Justice. He had 9 kids in total, keep in mind all from the same woman, Abigail Ellsworth. And his reason for leaving the House was from resigning. That's not what most people thought for some reason. Landmark cases. Joining the Constitutional Convention in 1787, Ellsworth supported the movement to create a stronger central government. He helped engineer an agreement between the larger and smaller states, which would also be known as the Great Compromise. Death. Ellsworth died at his home in Windsor, Connecticut on November 29, 1807, at the age of 62. He was buried at the Palisado Cemetery behind the First Church of Windsor. Thank you for listening, and that will conclude the Chief Justice part of this project. Up next is the court case by Nikki Herrera.
I am going to discuss the Miranda versus Arizona case. Ernesto Miranda was born March 9, 1941. It was 52 years ago that the case took place in 1966. The case took place in Phoenix, Arizona in trial court, then went to the U.S. Supreme Court. Miranda was arrested for raping a woman in 1963. He was asked to write a formal confession and sign it, but he refused. He then was interrogated for 2 hours and finally confessed. But he wasn't told his rights, therefore he wasn't aware of them at the time he was arrested. Miranda was unaware of his rights to remain silent so that he wouldn't incriminate himself. This right is a way for the person being arrested to stay quiet and avoid trouble. After being charged with rape, Miranda appealed the sentence and brought his case to the United States Supreme Court. The police who arrested him violated the 5th and 6th Amendments in the Constitution. Since Miranda's 6th and 5th Amendment rights were violated, he took the case in a 5-4 decision by Chief Justice Warren. The case went to the Supreme Court because the police unconstitutionally held Miranda's confession. It was ruled that Miranda's confession could not be used as evidence in trial. This case has impacted American society by making it clear that anyone accused of any crime must be informed of his or her constitutional rights before being arrested and interrogated. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to talk to a lawyer and have him present with you while you are being questioned. If you cannot afford to hire a lawyer, one will be appointed to represent you before any questioning if you wish. You can decide at any time to exercise these rights and not answer any questions or make any statements.